Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Well, let's continue on to my DVD Blu-ray updates. Today, I am best to me reviews. Welcome back. Okie dokie, let's start off with basically another than one movie that I have on Blu-ray for now. But I have seen the theatrical movie, but never seen the deluxe uncut rated version. I'm of course talking about Saw. I have to mention this movie is actually not as bad as this other Angelina Jolie movies that has been made, but here's the thing I hate about movies of Angelina starring in. I mean, it's not really a bad way, Richard, for her to just kind of like just basically being in movies when she's being the top really bad girl type, but her performance is not that bad. I mean, seeing her basically in this movie is kind of pretty well. What's the word I'm trying to turn? A little less action, if that matter. But hey, that's basically how movies are supposed to be made, right? So, to my knowledge, the base of watching this, it's not that bad, originally. This is the deluxe unrated edition, and it has two unrated standard cuts. So, you have the theatrical cut, and you got two edition cuts. So, compared for that, there was a big version that was going to be a Saw 2, eventually coming out later, but no worry about it, Richard. But what I like about the film is actually pretty well good story. I mean, Angelina plays this biblical agent who is supposed to be related towards the Russian spies, and very well serious movie. And yeah, definitely would recommend people who haven't seen this movie. I mean, this is actually just a one beloved movie that is all time Richard for any kind of I have seen Richard, but yeah, it's not that bad. So basically turn for basically on the future. So basically you have the front cover, you have the back cover, which is pretty loaded with basically good features. And then if we open it up, we have a nice good disc artwork along with basically the image of Angelina Jolie's character riding a badass motorcycle. So I guess what it looks like. Yeah, another original on the behind the base of the case. So, turn for special features, we have, unlike the exclusive never before seen footage with three versions of the film. You have the theatrical film, you got the two added extended cuts that never before seen in theaters. You have the ultimate female action hero, Spider entrance, the look of the Venom Assault, radio interview with director Philip Norman. I think he actually did other kinds of directed other kind of movies I remember calling, but I'm not sure what was it. Filmmakers commentary, the top secret Blu-ray exclusive. Salt this class fillet, a undercover look of the secret of the making of Salt, the real agents, the emotive masters of politics of the thriller by Paul Newman, false identity, the crisis of the new reality, and spy cam picture-in-picture track, and movie IQ sim. So compared for basically it is 1080p high def resolution. The audio is have French, English, French, Dolby Digital sound quality with 5.1 DTS HD master sound, which basically the Spanish is in 5.1 Dolby Digital Spanish, and audio directory tracks of the Dolby Soundby English stuff, and finally the subtitles is basically this English HD and French and Spanish. So compared for that, it's not that bad per se. The only difference I like about this movie is that you have both theatrical and standard cuts. Now I haven't watched any of the two standard cut editions. I was very kind of curious if they actually will eventually do a sequel of this movie. I'm definitely more for it to go see it because I don't want to give away spoilers, but towards the end, it's actually pretty kind of dull versus in the theatrical movie. But the extended cut is actually pretty well, a lot more gruesome. So hopefully there might be a word which should be a sequel. So yeah, Salt, definitely a good movie. Definitely check it out. Okay, next up, another movie that I really want to see and I haven't seen in a very long time. We have Source Code. Now, like I said before, I was very well kind of curious about this movie. I really want to pick it up, which I was going to probably pick up on Blu-ray, but since I saw it for DVD for about cheap for $5, I thought maybe why not? Just basically see the film, and maybe I'll probably pick up the Blu-ray edition if it's ain't that kind of good anyway. But yeah, a really good, suspense movie. When I was watching it, I was very kind of in on with the character, which what's his name? Jack Reynolds' character, who plays the standalone character, which is basically in the train ride, who falls in love with this very beautiful woman, played by I think Michelle. I think that's what her name is. I'm not quite sure which. I'm not really top up with both of these actors, but the very brunette woman on the train was in the film, and I thought it was pretty well good because it starts off with of a soldier who basically pretty much enters himself towards the war, and then originally just being this connected to the chamber called Source Code, and in the real world we have something like that towards actually the real world, but in this movie this explains about what if a person can actually go back towards what happens of disaster or any kind of local terrorist attack. So that's what it explains about this movie. I like the idea of seeing a character who's in this chamber and actually trying to find out what is this chamber that he is in and how he's supposed to basically save all those people in the train. Because it begins to really seeing the Jack's character basically waking up basically in the dream sequence and actually just basically being in this kind of this ultimate reality and feel like it's not really reality. So it's kind of really towards that. It's really just mixed bags, like who done it and who did it, who set the bomb off, who's basically going to die basically in the film. It's a very well suspense movie, and it gives you goosebumps and actually, very well surprising moments. And what I like about it, I think it's actually pretty darn good. Especially in the beginning, it's just really kind of what happened if he basically did not basically deflate the bomb, or basically, for instance, trying to stop the terrorists by I guess killing at least about 15 or maybe I think about like 50 or more people were on the train, but all the people who basically didn't really survive on basically that train. So to my sense of this movie, it's really worth it to watch. So in terms of special features, we have commentary by but the director David Jones, writer by Ben Rowley, and actor Jake Graverman. Cast in highlights and insights of the story and film is of Source Code through thoughts of the scene, thoughts, the eyes of the cast and crew, focus points. Watch the animated shorts to the time travel and other science phenomenons address into the film. And then, do you know the trivia track? I haven't really looked at the features. I did listen to the commentary of this on the movie, and it's actually just a brilliant commentary. It's actually really explained about Jake, and the director explains about what would happen about the characters basically in the ultimate reality in the source code Q box, and actually really be what if the character Jake's character will be able to save the girl he actually fallen in love with. And it's a pretty well good summer. It's not like a romantic movie. It's very well dispensed. It's less romantic towards this movie, but it's very well intense movie, and it gets your hearts pumping up to see what would happen. What could basically the character really survive of the terrorist bomb explosion, and really just a very good syndicate movie, and definitely worth picking up if you have it on DVD or on Blu-ray. So basically we have the front cover, we have the back cover, and then to open it up, we have just the DVD itself that says source code. There you go. So yeah, source code, definitely will pick it up. Next up, we have another movie that I haven't seen in quite a while. This movie came out in, can't really talk much about what this movie came out, but I know this movie came out in 2003, if I'm not mistaken, but I haven't watched it yet, Richard, and I wouldn't even watch it even now, Richard. We have Be Kind, Rewind, starring Jack Black and Mumford Beefer. Like I said, I just don't really kind of remember these guys' names, so bear with me, Richard. But this is actually a pretty well good movie. I have seen trailers and basically seen kind of reviews of this movie, and a lot of people really enjoyed this movie so much because there's so much really more about this basically bunch of guys, basically a bunch of dudes just basically trying to make a home movies of trying to make a people that love movies. What I like about Jack Black's performance is that he's come a little bit more funny, of course, in some of his movies. Like, for instance, he did Orange County, did Saving Silverman, and a few other movies that he has done. But you know what I mean. But this movie is actually pretty well good. And Barry, I haven't seen it much as yet. I know I've basically seen the trailer of it, but never got around to see it. So I might check it out. But this is a slipcover. A nice good slipcover. It's not no razor bumper, but it's a nice slipcover. It got the back of basically the VHS prom room image, which is pretty cool. And then if we open it up, this basically slipcover, which basically shows different images of basically of the set. They kind of some slimmer. This is in the slip case. This is not. And then go to the back. See right there. And then we have a nice good disc artwork, which is pretty interesting. But yeah, pretty all okay. So, turn first features, we just have basically both widescreen and full screen, of course, basically just way why these movies is. I just don't understand why people use widescreen or full screen. Like, can they just basically just have this standard image quality? Basically, it doesn't matter, but whatever. We have just a behind the scenes feature, so not too much. The only thing I was kind of very curious about this movie was everybody was really kind of expecting for this movie to basically come out. And I'm always thinking it probably will come out on Blu-ray since I have the original on DVD. But I need to probably watch it, Richard. So yeah, definitely will pick this up if you very well see it, Richard, because I don't know if you could probably find it on Amazon, Richard. But I know this was basically dirt cheap for $5, Richard, in one of the bargain bins at Walmart. And I was very well kind of pleased with which one to get this, Richard. So very well happened to get in the collection. So, Rewind. Be Kind, Rewind. Definitely worth picking up. Alright, next up, we have two anime movies. So, first off, we're going to basically start off. There's one movie that I haven't seen for a very long time, actually. I know this came out on VHS, but for some reason I kind of like know that I have written it so many times, but I never really owned it personally. I actually, of course, talked about the Jetsons on DVD. Yes, this is actually the 1990 Jetsons movie, and I have to say this is actually pretty well worth it picking up, Richard, because once again, $5, and I'm glad Richard got this back in the collection. So, originally, to my knowledge, I'm not really a huge fan of the Jetsons TV show series, but, you know, I am a fan of watching the show. Richard. I have seen it like probably a couple times on television when it came on. And seeing the film itself is actually just brilliant. I mean, it's actually really good. Richard. And there's really no features on the set. It's just basically just the movie itself. But definitely want to get into picking it up, Richard, so glad of that. And you probably want to see what this artwork looks like. That's a standalone, this artwork. Nothing too fancy. Yeah, so, yeah. Jetsons, the movie. Awesome. And then finally, the final anime movie that I really want this collection because, well, I'm just a huge fan of basically goes with cartoons or anything, but I think this typical cartoon, along with basically all three movies, it's just no comparison. I am, of course, talking about the Rugrats movie trilogy collection. Yes, I finally got myself into this. I love Rugrats. I mean, personally, as a Rugrats fan, as growing up in the late 80s and 90s and the mid 2000s, I just love the Rugrats. I personally love the show. I personally even love the first movie. I mean, don't get me wrong. The second movie was good. Third movie was okay. It's fine. But the first movie, brilliant. I mean, just wonderful, great animation. I mean, really. Because I will venture to do an in-depth review of the Rugrats someday, Richard, hopefully. But what I like about the movie, it's just actually really just a great, not just because the story or basically the characters are very well related and everything else, but the entire animation. I mean, it's just like, you know, you may be thinking, well, oh, Eric, they're just a bunch of babies, it's basically and stuff. Well, it's not just like that. We'll explain about that later, Richard. But the only thing I like about the first movie is because you actually get to see the animation a lot more fluid and actually a lot more just kind of like feel like it's actually movie-like towards it. Because the animation towards they did recently, like the Jetsons, they actually did something like that. But towards here, in the first movie, it's actually just brilliant. Really. And I will eventually do a review of the Rugrats when I get all the DVD sets of the show itself, hopefully. Because I know those sets are really around on Amazon, and I will eventually come around getting it. But compared for this show, it's actually just brilliant. And compared for the movie, brilliant. So, turn for basic special features. On the first film, we have a bonus short from Cat Dog. We have Winslow. Winslow documentary. Nothing too fancy. They will be based. I thought that was based. The Winslow documentary. We have on the Rugrats in Paris. We have sound effects, showcast, Chucky Chan, the behind the scenes. Well, basically, Bahan Man, if I can pronounce the name, music video. Who Let the Dogs Out? Bad music video. I mean, I don't know more I can say about that, but you know, it's on the original on the second disc. A Rugrats in Paris documentary, which is really kind of interesting documentary. And we on the Rugrats Go Wild, we have deleted scenes, the behind the scenes feature, and theatrical ending. So compare for that, you have all three movies in one set. So let's have a nice, good cover. Nice flip cover. They're both the same. And even the back are the same. I guess I can show you the features on these sets. Now on top of there. And then we open it up. We got nice good sets of basically DVDs. So we have the first film. We have the second film and the third film. So all compared together in one nice edition. I was thought maybe they would probably put a behind the scenes of the first film because I remember basically back in, I think it was probably in 1980, 1998, that there was a behind the scenes of these movies. Like for instance, there was a Harry the Spy one makes a behind the scenes. There was a Good Burger behind the scenes featurette, and then was Rugrats. So basically, compared for those, there's problem with Nickelodeon not getting those behind the scenes based on those on sets. So whatever what it is just basically how it works. But awesome, good movie. Definitely worth picking up. And if you're a Rugrats fan or just a Nickelodeon fan or any kind of fan that just like watching cartoons, definitely will pick up the Rugrats. Awesome, great movie and awesome, great TV show series. So that really ends up of this edition of the movie collection. But there's still a couple more updates. So since we're talking about a little bit more of the other sets, I think we'll probably do a couple parts. Well, maybe. Well, hopefully do more updates because I want to basically do a nice good review version for you guys, especially for the girls out there who are really big fans of the book itself. But I'm not going to tell you what it is. You just have to find out for yourself. So alrighty. So until next time, this is Eric Brown. Thank you for watching. And sayonara.